Well, welcome everybody. We're here at Founder Spotlight, and I'm really excited to have Jeff and Phil here. And it's remarkable what you guys have been able to do with this platform. I'm so excited for you to show this with RescueFi, the company name being Universal Forge. But guys, you have an amazing business with really helping people and what this can do in the marketplace. I'm so excited for this and so excited for you guys to share what the platform is going to be looking like. So Phil, Jeff, whomever, take it away. The floor is yours.
All right, Izzy, thank you very much. And let me take it away. I'm going to start sharing the screen. All right, making sure you guys can see the screen.
Yeah, I see it.
This is the beginning of the dashboard. The components of the dashboard, it's not just a demo. Some of the components of the dashboard are actually functioning. And this is kind of where we're heading. It's not going to be the final product, but it's absolutely where we're heading. And so what I've done is created an executive demo so that we can walk through. So I'm going to start on that. I'm going to close these windows down.
And as you're doing that, let me just give the context here, because I see on there you have Reg A, prep, compliance tracking, and all that. So recognizing that the investors that are investing in your current raise, this is not an investor that invests in this particular platform. There's two nuances here, right? You're attracting, I would even call this like a crowdfunding type of capability. But I just want to make sure that the investors know that we're taking a look at your other video that's out there. And it's been real exciting to engage with them, that they understand what you're going to walk them through now.
Correct. You're absolutely correct, Izzy. And this is going to be a fractionalized digital security platform for real world assets, aiming at doing ethical style investments and stuff, which is where the RescueFi platform comes into play. So on top of this, I've built some things that you can see. There's going to be a generate pack here, which can function. You can actually see it. And this is where the user can download the entire package they need, the investor, to make sure they're compliant on that side. Just some, we've got dark mode, light mode, and then this is going to be a role-based platform. So we have the investor, the issuer, and the administration. Issuers will, and each one of the roles will see different things. So for example, you can see the investor piece right here. They can see their offerings. They've got a calculator. They've got tools to see what the investment's going to look like. Another what if I invest calculator, just so they can see what's there, steps of where they are along the way with their documentation, identity verification, document upload, and compliance overview. And then we've got a what we call the ecosystem explorer. You can see all of the organizations, and if you click on it, you can see all of the investors as well.
Yeah.
And then if we shift over, and we'll go through this a little bit quicker through the demo as well, but if we shift over to the issuer, which is the organization, you can see a compliance heat map. You can see steps on where they are with their Reg A plus. We have an audit, real-time audit timeline that they can see. And also this is, at this point too, let me scroll down real quick. This is where you would publish the offering and stuff. So you can select what the asset type is, and then you can publish the demo offering, and then you can see the offering down here. Let me scroll back up to the top, please. And then the admin side of it, the admin has the overall access to the platform. So you can see a compliance deck, an entity explorer, and the system audit side of it on that.
So tell the investors that have already seen your first video, where Jeff and I were sort of by a fireside chat, if you will, going into the company nuances. Ethica Ventures. Can you speak to that? The brand name, what that is there in the top left that we're all looking at.
Okay, the Ethica Ventures is the brand name for the actual platform itself. So the platform will be Ethica Ventures, and RescueFi and any other verticals that go on the platform will be the organizations that go on. So RescueFi is going to be our first product on this platform.
So, yes. And RescueFi, for the listening ear, is going to be specifically for those short-term loans that are being purchased and things of that nature, where they were getting railroaded with those other types of terms on payday loans and things like that.
Absolutely correct. Jeff, you want to speak more to that, or you want?
We're going to be disrupting the the end of 2025 $276 billion payday loan and installment loan high interest lending networks across the United States. And that's essentially what our first project is. And yeah, Ethica Ventures is just, we needed to start calling the platform itself something, and we want it to be used primarily for ethical programs. So
Yeah, makes sense. And folks,
yeah,
for those of you that are listening, and maybe this is your first knee-jerk reaction to this particular opportunity, maybe you didn't see the first video, but what I learned and what I find absolutely despicable and disgusting, there is an actual legal market on the predatory lending side of railroading people that are just going through some tough times. There are loans out there for $300 to $500. Yes, you heard me correctly. Somebody will lend them $300 to $500, and somehow $50 to $100 a month makes sense to them financially to do that. They get into these predatory lending situations, and that $50 to $100 goes on in perpetuity, which I was disgusted to hear. And I'm making it my mission to clean that up and to be able to help these folks that are in that. And this is what these gentlemen are doing right here with this platform. So however else you want to speak to that or give any more backdrop and color, Phil, Jeff, and show it on here, please do.
All right, thank you. I'm going to continue on. That was well stated, Izzy, well stated, and exactly what we're heading and what we're trying to disrupt. Also on the platform, you'll be able to have tools, for example, the show base market, which shows platform AMU. You can see what it's like if it's a bear market, see what it's like if it's a bull market. We've got real feeds just to show and demonstrate that we can do real feeds. So we have real feeds of gold coming in right now, the gold price. Okay. And this is in the area that just shows the module showcase automated Reg A Plus preparation, compliance tracking, and investor eligibility check. So you can click on Reg A Plus, see what's going there.
Can we go back to that dashboard a second?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I know this is going to come up, right? And the question is going to be related to agentic AI and how it can help in platforms like this. I mean, recently Robinhood came out with agentic AI where you can just put in some parameters and put your money in there, and your AI agent is going to take care of some trades. Can you speak to that? Is that a positive, negative? Do you plan on having that? What's that going to look like?
On the AI side of it, I think the better way to start out with, from what I see and from what I believe in the market on that, is AI is a tool that can help you. It can suggest things to you. It can do things, but from our perspective, the initial investment in things like that is deterministic. I find that deterministic is superior in the fact that the person actually sees what they're doing. It's not something else that's being done for them. AI can recommend for them, and then they can go to town after that. But that's where we're going. So I'm starting deterministic first, AI second. So we will have an AI component, but the AI component will be a tool to help the investor along in their process and decision making.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay. And then we've got a compliance console. This will be where you can generate the 1K, you can generate your 1SA, just your forms. You'll have audit trails, and we'll have life cycles offering as well.
So who is actually handling any type of trade? I saw their spot trade with gold. Spot feigns the idea of currency as well as gold is for sure, but I don't think you're doing any paper currencies around the world. Am I right?
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct.
Correct.
So who is going to facilitate, for example, a gold trade, or are they just using this tool to trade on a Robinhood platform or something like that?
No, we have a potential client that was very, very interested. That was their main focus of their business, was to trade gold.
Yes, they have contracts to acquire out of Australia to their smelting plant in Europe, and then they resell. And they're actually interested in licensing the platform for that purpose. Once we do all the due diligence on them and make sure everything's good. And unfortunately, they recently had one of their partners passed untimely, And so they've kind of had to step back for a few months, but they are still very interested in doing something with us.
Excellent.
Okay, and this I just is added into the site. This won't appear on the dashboard, but this for the purpose of the demo, just to show the issuer workflow would be number one, to create the offering, generate the Reg A plus, publish offering, accept subscriptions, issue digital certificates or digital securities, and then monitor compliance.
So the way that I look at this, could someone sort of create their own mini fund on your platform?
Yeah,
Yeah. You want to speak to that, Jeff, in a
absolutely.
little more depth?
The overall intention of this is not just RescueFi. RescueFi is something reflecting a market I've worked in for 18 years, helping people find ways to settle payday loans. But the platform itself is agnostic. Literally, this is designed to convert real world assets, whether it's land, energy, water, debt, corporate structure itself, inventory production, into marketable assets under Regulation A plus or Regulation D. And the reason for A plus is, especially with payday debt, we want to be able to give unaccredited investors an opportunity to experience and to earn real world interest rates that they wouldn't get through their bank. If somebody wants to just invest $100 a month into helping people clean up payday loan debt and earn a really good interest rate in doing so, awesome. We're not going to be a payday lender around that project. We're going to be a rescue component that will help people get out of debt as quickly as possible.
Love it. Love it. And
Yeah.
what's really neat about what you just said there, and just answering my question, because there are a lot of emerging new fund managers that are starting 10, 15, 50, plus million. And I think Reg A, you're allowed up to 75 million, something along those lines.
Yes.
But in reality, they could literally use this platform as their back end to track all of their investments, and maybe with folks that they're doing SPVs with and bringing in some cash. So this is really neat. So folks, you've seen the link on the bottom there. Certainly click on that to maybe explore learning more about how to invest in this company, Universal Forge, with RescueFi, knowing that this is their back end platform as well. That could you might end up being a client of theirs and an investor, where you're leveraging this platform. And we're not going to go into the nuances of what it's going to cost per seat or anything like that, but certainly you can speak directly with both Jeff and Phil if it's appropriate. But click on that link and get all your questions answered to see if it merits being a part of your portfolio or adding this into what you're doing right now with your portfolio business. But Phil, Jeff, go ahead, continue.
All right, and this section is the portfolio analytics. You can see AUM, portfolio mix, investor growth. This is the investor yield, cash flow, and portfolio allocation analytics. And this is the Reg A operations. You can see viewed offerings, started subscriptions, KYC, completed funding. So a full suite of analytical tools, plus, again, showing demonstrations of pulling in live feeds, carbon credits, benchmarks, gold spot live. Anything can be pulled in and customized for the user.
So when you say anything, tracking the cryptocurrencies of the world.
Absolutely.
So I have to imagine on the back end related to Ethica Ventures, anything that's actually the information that's coming through, it's probably managed on some kind of blockchain utility, I would imagine. But in any event, to give people at least the sense that this is real information, it's real time. It's not happening after the fact and pulling reporting feeds from Yahoo Finance or anything like that. So this is all real-time data.
Yeah, all real-time data pulled in through APIs and stuff. So it's actual, factual, live feed data.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yes.
Okay. This section right here represents available offerings for the investor. So in this case, we've got some pyrolysis, we've got RescueFi, we've got gold, we've got solar, but it can be anything that the organization that comes onto the platform would like to put forth and make as their offering.
That is really exciting. So let's go back up to RescueFi there. And Jeff, why don't you walk us through what that's going to look like where someone is maybe making a micro investment, or maybe they want to do 25, 50, $100,000 and just say, it looks like this pool, the target yield is gonna bring me in somewhere 14 to 16%. Okay. So if let's say I'm just lopping 50% of that off, just taxes, fees, and all those type of things. If I can see 8 to 10% on my money, and understand that there's liquidity there, walk us through what that looks like if someone were to drop 100 grand into this payday relief pool.
We're gonna have different rates of return based on, whether somebody's coming in as basically a Reg A non-accredited investor versus somebody that's putting 100,000 in.
Yeah.
In terms of RescueFi, we'll have different ranges of debt pools based on overall risk of the end users. So we will, as we onboard them, we'll be doing a soft credit pool. Our overall solution and system around RescueFi is designed that nobody's left behind. There's some settlement programs out there in the marketplace that handle people that with 1,000, 1,500 plus. We want our program under RescueFi to be, doesn't matter how much they owe. As I said when you and I spoke before in our first interview, we have I've worked with this for a long time. We had a call center up and running pre-COVID. I've listened to a lot of calls over the years, including, people that are stuck in $350 loans, where they've been making $89 a month payments for more than 2 years, and they can't figure out how to get out of them. So, interest rate will be flexible as we start to go in there. We'll be looking at, the background of people, and putting them into a program that helps them ultimately get out of debt. I mean, ultimately, we know that people that are in the payday loan cycle ultimately come back. 95% of them, if they pay off a loan today, they'll be back in with 6 to 9 months. We also want to give them an alternative place to come as opposed to, paying literally 400 to 700% interest through regular payday or installment loan lenders. We want to give them something that has a start and an end date that they can live with, and that they can get the flexibility that they need. Payday and installment loans target heavily into people that can least afford to lose additional cash. It targets single moms, targets minorities. It targets, if somebody has a child that needs medication and they don't have insurance and they don't have the money to get it, they'll find a way to get it. So ultimately, what we're trying to do as well should lead to lower crime rates as well,
Mm.
because we'll be giving them a solution that they can come back into if they need to, not just going back to a payday loan company who's going to keep stacking loans on them. So all they're making is payments on their interest and never getting rid of the actual balance.
You
Does that
know,
make sense?
it makes a lot of sense. And years ago, I'm sure you guys remember household finance. They used to have these storefronts, and people would walk in there and get these loans and things like that. Um,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to see, and maybe that's part of the dev sprint in the future, are those channel partners that have the audience of check cashing and all that type of thing, and maybe there's a QR code that they can scan, they turn them on to you, and know that they can get
Yeah.
some type of commission from you or something like that, whatever's
Yeah.
legal, and know that they don't have to track it or anything. You guys are handling all that. All they did was say, hey, you need $500. You can pay that off with these guys relatively quickly. You certainly have the cash flow to be able to do that. You're just in a bind right now. Here's what you need to do. I love
I've,
that model.
it's absolutely exactly where we're going. I've been building or helping to build, tracking software since 1999. If it has an IP, we can track a referral through
Yeah,
QR code, through phone call, whatever we need.
yeah. That's really exciting because if
That's very
you
cool.
look at you look at small military towns, let's look at a little town like Mountain Home, Idaho, where there's an Air Force base there, or towns around Colorado for the Army and stuff like that. These young families that are shipping off kids right now
Mhm.
to go to war, they're clueless how to manage their finances. They're plunged into this new world of, oh gosh, I have a military paycheck. I qualify for a VA loan. I got to get stuff
Yeah.
for the house. I got to get furniture. And they think, years ago, when my wife and I were first starting out, our house was empty. Now today, kids start out in a house and they fill it right away because there's all these like, zero interest until whatever. And somehow they end up getting screwed with zero interest. I don't know how, but somehow it happens.
Yeah, as you only goes so long,
Yeah,
you
you,
know.
you missed that end date. You missed that end date of the zero interest, and all of a sudden it all compounds up and adds in at one
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like, whoa.
Zero interest it's funny you say that. Zero interest is usually, it's a catchphrase. Usually we'll give you 6 months free interest. And if you pay it off at the end of that 6 months, you don't pay any interest. However, if you don't pay it off, then you're going to pay interest from day one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And
then
a high rate,
Most
right?
people
30,
can't do it.
35% too.
uh,
Yeah,
that's right. And then all of a sudden this grenade with dollar signs goes off and they're like, where the heck? I
exactly.
can't afford to pay this. And
It's
It's horrifying. It's
these
just
poor
horrifying.
kids, they're kids. They're literally kids.
Yeah, it absolutely.
And they're
You know,
kids.
it's crazy that in this day and age and in the economy that we should have, that we have more places to get payday and installment loans in the United States right now today than there are Starbucks and corporately owned McDonald's locations combined. Let that thing sink in for a minute. That's how big this business is. Corporately owned
Mm.
Starbucks and McDonald's combined. This is
That
bigger
is
than that.
nuts. That is nuts. And what's funny, I always laugh with my daughter because she loves to stop at Starbucks and get a drink, and we're frequent flyers there. But I'm like, it should be called $7 because
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I know that's right.
somehow
Yeah.
somehow it's socially acceptable to pay $7 for a cup of coffee. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but somehow they've been able to do that.
it's
Um,
the whipped cream, Izzy. It's the whipped
yeah,
cream.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all the whipped cream.
It's the
Yeah.
whipped cream.
But going back to what I was thinking of in that model and just having those places, because I feel like where these businesses are stood up, it's very strategic in those little military towns, and you've got these cute young families, again, kids raising kids. You'll see this girl that looks like she just came out of high school walking with two kids in a stroller, and it's like, gosh, her husband's shipped off to sea. He's barely 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out how to manage the finances. And he goes, I don't know, do one of those payday loans that I saw over there. And guys, you can really help the people that are helping defend this amazing country, the people that are struggling, the people you gave a great example that maybe they want to help their grandkid and their kids get medicine or whatever it is. This can be an amazing vehicle to be able to help those folks get a leg up and not get screwed over in the process.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. You want to continue on, Phil? And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're
Again,
going to go ahead and if you can wrap things up here, Phil. And folks, again, there's a link on there. Go ahead and click on that. Let's get on the schedule where we can get you on a call with Phil and Jeff, get your questions answered. Again, we're showing you what the platform is going to look like. This is an adjunct if you're sort of curious, like, oh, he hasn't talked about the investment. I'll make sure that you get both of those if you have any of those questions. But Phil, Jeff, RescueFi, Universal Forge, go ahead and sunset this conversation here. I'm excited for people to get to know you.
sunset it away, Jeff.
Yeah, well, Phil, do you want to just are you set up to show a little bit of the actual behind the scenes, the actual fully functional current version of the platform?
Yeah, do we have time for that, Izzy?
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away.
Okay.
Just a couple
So
minutes.
we'll just slide on over to that side of it. Let me click real quick through a couple of slides because I think one of them leads right into it. So this area is where the person would actually purchase tokens and stuff. So this has got the offerings, go into the offering. It's got the investment amount, and then we can just click here and we can confirm the purchase. This is the fractional digital security. This shows that it's actually signed, digitally signed, fingerprint going on. Click it down. You can see what's happening here. And I'll let this just segue into the actual component on this side. So the CTI3 platform represents the verification component. And in this, the user will be able to see there. So this is from the organization perspective. So the organization will see all of the certificates, all of the things that they've issued, whether they're gold series, they can be land series going on as well. The organization will be able to see all securities issued going on. They can view them, they can resend them, they can download them. There's QR codes to send so that they can be scanned on another phone and opened up. There's analytics, how many of the things were issued, how many opened, wallets created. Wallet is the actual wallet created by the individual that owns their account. So we'll move right on to wallet. That's three. Okay, this is an example of the wallet. The wallet is from the user perspective. This will show every digital security that the user has. And you can view it. Again, verify it. You can open it up and see the actual digital signatures through there, the verification method, the signatures created, type. We've designed the system to be very low on what they call gas. It is, we use the DID keys. It references the hash. We don't need to get all into the technical on this side, but the hash is the digital fingerprint. So it goes out from the public side, private side, looks at the hash, verifies it to show that there's authenticity there. It cannot be changed, period.
Nice. So let me ask you a question. If someone has let's say a Robinhood portfolio account, are they able to track anything in here and connect any APIs with that?
That will be in future builds.
Yeah,
absolutely. In future builds, we want to be the one, like a single source. So using SSO, single sign-ons, and bring everything into one source for the investor. So the investor has all the tools, all the information, all their portfolio information in one location.
Yeah. Easy, we should just note that the CTI3 piece that we were just looking at just now, 100% functional, has active clients. It addresses a $37 billion global marketplace that we are currently active. We have some of the chapters of the International Policemen's Association use it for their membership. Like, what we're working on with the RescueFi and everything else, the fractionalization, is expansion of the existing infrastructure, which has extensive value already. It's more powerful than a number of the other systems out there. It's much faster. It functions much more cleanly, and some of those other platforms have exited already in the market, for one of them well over 200, what was it, Phil, over 200 million?
Yeah,
I think
$250 million.
So, this isn't just us starting off from scratch and saying, hey, here's something we sketched on a napkin, we're going to go and build. We already have extensive infrastructure built and fully functional. What we're doing is expanding that and working through, my attorney in California, Herb Kraft, has taught courses on Reg A. He's going through everything here with us on compliance to make sure that everything is 100% compliant as we roll it out. This is basically creating and adding into our existing structure that fractionalization or tokenization, whichever term you want to use, component, so we can break down real world assets into marketable securities within compliance.
That is super exciting. Guys, you're doing an amazing job with this, and the tools look beautiful. I love that everything's in real time there. It's all user friendly. I think this is going to really take off. I'm excited about that. Phil Hall, Jeff Clay, Universal Forge, RescueFi. You guys got it going on, man, and you're helping people. I really love that. Folks, click on that link so that you can get on a call potentially with Phil and Jeff both, but get your questions answered. I really think what they're doing is very meaningful in the marketplace. It's very, very timely. And I'd love to see you guys get behind this. Thank you guys for joining, taking the time to do this. I really appreciate that here on Founder Spotlight. And guys, my hat's off to you. You're doing an amazing job, not only making money for others, but helping people get out of a really tight situation. So great job. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you on the next one. Phil, Jeff, thanks so much, guys. We'll talk to you guys.
Thank you, Izzy. Appreciate the opportunity to share.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye.